my name's Alan, I come from Belfast in Northern Ireland. One thing I'll say quickly before we get started is that I speak quite quickly, and I speak quite enthusiastically. And that's nothing to do with the comedy as such. It's more so because, as a Belfast man, if I was to speak slowly, on with purpose, it sounds like I'm fucking threatening you. So I'm trying to keep it light. You know, I moved over here about 3 or 4 years ago, and one thing I didn't realise whenever I came here is that people in England, they like the Irish accent, you know, and what girls in the Northeast do when they find out that you're Irish is they ask you to say certain words, right? And that's really charming whenever you first come over here, but after 3 or 4 years it gets a little bit grating. So what I've done, right, I've gone out and I bought this great big stick, just to beat away girls keep telling me to say 33, and a fucking turd. And I'm kidding, of course I'm only kidding, because I only hit the mingers. And the thing is that with this accent, with the Belfast accent, it's quite dour and it's quite unexpressive at the best of times, you know, and sometimes you'll say things that people will misinterpret what you mean. Like, I have English friends and they'll say certain things like, hey, you met more like Tom, he's safe. And what they mean by that is that Tom is trustworthy, he is dead on, he is reliable. Whereas if I was to say, here, you met my mate Tom, he's safe. It sounds like I've done a fucking background check. Do you know what I mean? The thing is, Belfast is a pretty bad rep at the best of times, you know, and I suppose that's kind of fair enough. And for those of you who don't know, Northern Ireland was essentially in a civil war for about 40 years or so, you know, and it was pretty chaotic in that time. And in many ways, you could argue that it was like a cross between the Gaza Strip and Jumanji, you know. And to give you an example of how we moved on by then, how we put the past behind us, like, my dad lived through bomb blasts, he lived through riots, he lived through murders, kidnappings, all sorts of horrible, horrible things. And to give you an example of how we put the past behind us, the last time I was home, my dad called me a barbarian for eating a yogurt without a spoon. But I've been with my girlfriend for about 3 or 4 years now. We met whenever I came to uni, and I moved in with her during the summer, which is great because before I met her I was single for a long, long time, and I'm not exactly sure how long I was single for, but if I can kind of illustrate this for you, at my lowest point I found myself going through the photographs of a girl that I did not know on Facebook, until I came across a photo of her having dinner, at which point I went into the kitchen, made some pasta, and pretended we were on a date. I still agree. The people in the Northeast are fantastic. Even the ones you don't know are great. I was in Next when it used to be in Northumberland Street, and I was standing by the door while a friend of mine was buying something. And as I was standing there, these two people walked in. It was a mum and her young son. The young son had recently broken his leg. He was in a cast up to about here, and he was not happy about it at all, right? And this mum was really friendly. She was really over enthusiastic, and she was so lovely. And she came into Next, and she turned to me and she said, "Oh, hello there, son. Do you know where the menswear department is, please?" And I said, "Yeah, of course. It's in the first floor, but with your son's leg like that, you're going to have to take the lift, right?" And this mum, who's so over-friendly, so over-enthusiastic, and so lovely, turns to her son, who's a grumpy bastard, and goes, "Oh, did you hear that, Tom? We're going to take the lift. That'll be fun, won't it?" At which point this 17-year-old just turns to his mum and goes, "Aye." Like fucking Euro Disney.